We are all things human. That's what I want to tell you about. I didn't know that most of my life. I'm 84 years old now, 85 this May. Been a clinical psychologist for over 50 years. I didn't realize how we are all things human, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. See, I'm going to tell you things about yourself. At work, I'm sure you have felt humiliated, hurt, put down, unjustly criticized, micromanaged. And no one knew how humiliated you felt, how put down you felt, how disrespected you felt. Nobody knows. If you went home and told your spouse how you felt, and most of you don't do that, but if you did, the spouse won't even understand it, how deeply hurt you've been on your job. Perhaps you've been here 10, 20, 30 years, and some new person came in, new management, whatever, and you're being criticized for things that no one ever criticized you before. And you're walking around with low self-esteem, feeling badly about yourself because you're going through this every day. And no one knows what you're going through. And that's a lonely feeling. You're walking around, perhaps you're smiling, talking to people like nothing's going on. Behind that mask, you're drowning in a flood of despair, depression, anxiety, perhaps even getting panic attack. You bring it home, you're not what you want to be with the children, with the family, with your significant other. And you see, any normal human being in your situation going through that would feel the exact way that you do. I would. When my patients tell me what they're going through at work, I go, wow, I don't think I could handle that. I mean, I couldn't take it. I'm sure they would fire me. I would say something. This is the human situation. We go through these experiences. Some are joyful and happy, but a lot of them are not uplifting. A lot of them. That's the human condition. You didn't know how much other people are going through that. In fact, when I'm giving these talks, and we have a beautiful audience here, I always say I feel so much less alone because when other people speak up, I can see I'm not that different. I just can't emphasize enough that to suffer and to struggle is a human condition. I know you didn't know that. No, you didn't. I didn't know it until, really, I came to understand it until my 80s. This last year, at 84, I'm beginning to understand how normal this is, that this is a human experience. And I know you're hiding it. You're hiding the thoughts. You're walking around having all these thoughts. And somebody says, oh, nice weather, or gee, did you see what happened here, what happened on the news? And you get into that. You push yourself out of those thoughts for a while. You force yourself to come out, talk about that. Because you don't want the person to know what you're thinking. There's a good chance he doesn't want you to know what he's thinking. That's the human condition. Everybody is hiding. Now, I'm not saying we should expose all our thoughts and feelings. I'm not saying that at all. There's a time and a place where you want to discuss these things. But what I am saying is that your negativity is a human experience, and it's, let's call it, commonplace, if you want to even use the word normal. In one study, huge study at the University of Maryland, they found that 80% of people's thoughts were negative, and 95% of those negative thoughts were certain ones that kept repeating. 80%. You could meet somebody and think he's the most positive person in the world, and maybe he is with you. Maybe that's his social persona. He's hiding things. He doesn't want you to know. Just like you have something you want to hide from him. That's the human condition. I don't want you to feel alone in that. That's what I'm trying to give to you. I'm trying to normalize this experience that you're having. I want to normalize it. And so you understand this is the human experience. And you get to a point, everybody hits some point in a relationship, or on the job. But I say, I just can't take it anymore. Or I don't know how I can take it anymore. I see so many wonderful, strong, beautiful human beings who come to see me because of workplace stress, and they're anxious, they're depressed, going panic attacks, having relationship problems because of it. And we pull them out on disability, but we're not pulling them out just because of anxiety and depression, because there are people who function with that. Reach a point where they say, I just can't take it anymore. So I want to go back to that. We have all been in a situation where we say, I don't want to go back to that. That's the human experience. I don't want to go back to that. A job, a relationship, a situation. We all have the experience. I don't want to go back to that. You didn't know that. You thought it was just you. I always thought it was me. I just don't want to go back to it. I can't go back to it. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if I make half the money. I can't go back to it. They're killing me. An experience, the human experience, very common. To me, it's amazing people take it as long as they do. I couldn't. It's amazing to me that people take it as long as they do. Why? Such strength to be able to do it. Now me, Dr. Nerenberg, my father used to say to me, son, we Nerenbergs have to work for ourselves in our blood. Besides, when we work for other people, they fire us. We couldn't fit into that. Couldn't take it. That's actually true of a lot of small businesses. That's pretty common. We can't work for somebody because of these things. You can't pay your bills. Money's tight. You're having financial stress. You don't know how you're going to make it. Rents are so high. The year 2025, groceries are high. Gasoline is high, especially in California. How am I going to pay my bills? I want to be able to buy a house. I can't. I want to send my children to college. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't want to get evicted. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have enough money. I work hard, but I just barely am making it. You're suffering inside. All people go through that financial stress. That's the human experience. Just don't have enough. The human experience. My father used to say for him, happiness was being able to pay your bills and not being in pain. Basic, my father said. Being able to pay his bills and not being in pain, he was happy. Because a good part of his life, he wasn't able to pay his bills, although he became very rich towards the end of his life and his own business. Pain through different illnesses. Now, you're getting a pain somewhere. It's not going away. Maybe it's in your chest. Take the house and wait. Wonder if it's cancer. I just wonder. I've got this little lump. Wonder if that's cancer. You're walking around thinking, wonder if I have cancer. We'll change that. During COVID, people would get symptoms. They won't say, I want cancer. People would say, I have these symptoms. I wonder if I have COVID. People say, I did have COVID. I think I had COVID and it wasn't diagnosed. Or I think I have COVID. They won't go into, I think I have cancer anymore. I think I have COVID. Nose is running. I get this funny smell. I think I have COVID. So people are walking around thinking they have a serious illness or a deadly disease. Happens a lot all over the world. The human experience, you're not alone in that. I'm not even talking about hypochondriacs. People have something abnormal, which I never had this before. I wonder if it's cancer. That's the big scare right now. Cancer. That's how that goes. Now, people are depressed. They get anxious. They get panic attack. Of course, they hide it. You're talking to two people are talking, both laughing and smiling, and one's feeling miserable, but he's pretending to be happy. I said, I wish I could be happy like him. And he's going, God, I wish I could be happy like you. Neither one knows the other's miserable. That's the human experience. Both are laughing, both are smiling. Each one knows they're miserable, and they wish they could be happy like the other one, not knowing that other person is dying inside. That is the human experience. You're not alone in that experience because we're comparing our insides to somebody else's outside. And they're comparing their inside to your outside. Outwardly, you look like, you're just a very happy guy. In fact, when you go say to anybody, hey, how you doing, Joe? Oh, I'm doing good, great. How about you? Oh, I'm doing good too. Now, what I tell people, because I don't like that, I like to be more authentic. I don't want to go in and bore somebody telling my full situation. They say, how you doing? I say, well, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm happy, I'm sad. I'm all things human. Short enough not to be boring. It's a little more authentic. And when I say that, people go, yeah, you know what you mean. And it seems like a relief. Of course, I'm 84, and I'm not embarrassed to say, I'm good, bad, happy, sad. I'm all things happy, all things normal. I may be happy right now, but an hour from now I could get stressed out about something. Of course, I've developed the whole teachings of honor. I know how to come out of it reasonably quickly, but all things human. Generally, I can come around pretty quickly. I know how to work things through. I'm going to talk to you about it. Just outlining the issue. You have some habit that's damaging you. Could be smoking, drinking alcohol, drugs, sexual acting out, whatever. You want to stop, but you don't. You don't. You're trapped in a self-destructive pattern that somehow you're responsible for creating it, but at the same time, you just can't get out of it. Even though you know it's destroying you. Some people, it's eating foods that are bad for them, but I just like this. I don't care what it's doing to me. I just like it. I want to enjoy it. And they know it's destroying them, but they feel like they can't help it. That sense of powerlessness over their own self. Forget about being powerless over controlling others. That's understandable. Often powerless to control what's going on in ourselves. Most of the thoughts that we have, we never would have chosen to have them. Most of the thoughts that we have, none of us would have chosen it. We would choose happy thoughts. We would choose what are called good thoughts. That problem, that predicament, that is the human experience. You're not alone. That is the human experience, our imperfections. I know you're hearing me. I know you're going through. I know I've touched the nerve in every one of you. You just didn't know That's the state of humankind. That's what you didn't know. That's what I didn't know for over 80 years. Nobody told me. My father was a very wise man. He never told me. My teachers were so knowledgeable. They never told me. I was in graduate school in psychology. They never told me. I didn't even read about it. I didn't read a book and say, oh, that's the human experience. No, I never, nobody. Finally, I figured it out. I saw what I was going through, saw what people in my family go through, saw what my beautiful, wonderful patients are going through. Put it together. Wow. That's the human experience. Now, we all struggle. We all struggle. Nobody escapes struggling in life, struggling against ourselves, struggling against nature, struggling against what we have to what we have to deal with in our relationships, struggling what we have to deal with at work. We all struggle. That's the biggest thing people hide. How you doing? I'm great. How about you? Everything's good, bro. I'm in heaven. You're living the dream. It's almost socially inappropriate to say, well, I struggle. And I like to advocate admitting we struggle. I struggle. I'm going to come back stronger than ever. Now, that's a good statement. See, if you just say I struggle, the guy goes, oh, you poor thing. Well, no. I struggle, but I tend to come back stronger than ever. All things human. We all struggle. As a matter of fact, there's a blessing in that, a great jewel enshrined within your deepest struggle. Enshrined within your deepest struggle is the seed of your nobility, your destiny, your legacy, and your honor. Enshrined within your deepest struggle is the seed of your nobility, destiny, your legacy, and your honor. It's all within there. You just got to reach in there and pull that out. We see many successful people. They're rich. They look happy. I'm not saying they are. They look happy, and they have beautiful spouse and beautiful car and homes. Nobody knows the struggle they went through to get that. Some people was handed to, but a lot of people had to struggle to get there. Don't know the struggle. How many failures? Failing is a human experience. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Failure is the human experience. What I like to say is the road to success is paved with failures. The road to success is paved with failures. I'm a world champion powerlifter. Each world record I set in a couple of federations, I had so many failures that were really embarrassing. I can't tell how embarrassing some of my failures were. Of course, key in life, never quit, no excuses. The best time to take care of it is now. The worst time, why? It's later. My 4 laws of exercise is really 4 laws of life. So happy I can tell you about the human experience. So grateful that I can help normalize your experience of life. Because I know for a fact, no one told you it's normal. No one told you what you're going through is normal. Nobody. You are not prepared for the suffering that you had to. You were not prepared. I know that. The betrayals, the disappointments, the setbacks, the failures, the injustices. Nobody prepared you. Nobody prepared me. The other side of that is, I'll be honest with you, my life has turned out far better than I ever imagined it would. So there are the joys, the satisfactions, the sense of fulfillment, peace that we experience, the inspiration, the upliftment, the productivity, the meaning, the sense of purpose in life. It's beautiful. That's the other side of it. It's also part of the human experience. But we have to embrace it all, the full humanity of what we are. The imperfection and the progress and the beautiful side of life. So much beauty in life. Now, tell you another dimension of the human experience. I know for a fact, absolutely fact, that you are not sufficiently grateful for all that you were given. Your children are not sufficiently grateful for what they've been given. Know that. I'm not sufficiently grateful. My children are not sufficiently grateful. I know this fact. That's the human condition. Now, I'm a very grateful guy, but I could be more grateful. Absolutely, I could be. But I'm very grateful. Could be a lot more grateful. Now, when there's a lack of gratitude, what goes with that is a lack of loyalty and a lack of respect. Lack of loyalty, a lack of respect. I know you don't feel you get sufficient respect at home, at work, on the streets, and probably don't give enough respect either. One of the laws of honor, there's 25 laws of honor, 4 commands of honor. One of the laws of honor, extreme respect always. Every human being wants that respect. So I don't expect to get it, but I try to give it. I do all I can to show that respect. Could show more. But what I'm saying is, these struggles to manifest the nobility within us is universal. Everyone's struggling to manifest their own nobility. Now, let's take a look at a little something. People are pretending to be happier than they are. They're pretending they're not suffering the way they are. So there's a pretense. Part of it's out of pride, ego, whatever. I have a message for you. Here's my message. You are far, far greater than you pretend to be. You are far, far greater than you pretend to be. You are magnificent. You are a noble being. That's the true reality. So the pretenses that we do, I understand. It's a human condition. We're far greater than what we're projecting. We feel like we're projecting and pretending to be doing better than we are. Here's the irony. The truth is, we're better than that. We're better than we say we are, in a true sense of the word. Now, to appreciate the moment, most of us live in the past and the future. You want to have at least glimpses into the present, at least a glimpse throughout the day. Good way to do it, you take a deep breath in through the nostrils. I'm here now, right now. Enjoy the moment. I'm here now, right now. Enjoy the moment. It's one way out of the rat race, material world, away into a glimpse of peace, just a glimpse. But the idea is to try to get glimpses throughout the day. A glimpse. A little glimpse of twinkle in your eye. And you know when you got a little twinkle in your eye. I know I have it. I can have it right now. I do. A little twinkle in the eye. By entering the present, a glimpse. I'm not saying we can live that way every moment, but we can enter it and get glimpses. And I just showed you one way. The deep breathing. The long exhale is very important. That long exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which suppresses the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is fight, flight, and anxiety. It calms that down for a moment. Didn't solve any problem. If you have financial problems, the financial problems are still there. You're in problem at work is still there. You have a problem with your spouse, the problem with the spouse is still there. You're just taking a little break. It's just a little break from life. I'm here now, right now. Enjoy the moment. I'm not saying this is the path to total happiness. I'm not even saying it's the path to enlightenment. I'm just saying it's good to get a little break, right? It's doable. I'm just telling you things that are doable. Now, all these hardships I've been talking about, one of the commands of honor is I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Without hardship, without struggle, without suffering, we cannot achieve wisdom. We cannot achieve compassion. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. As I say, I'm a world champion powerlifter, bodybuilder. We bring hardship to ourselves. We lift heavy, heavy weights, grunting and groaning and tearing down muscle tissue, micro tears, micro injuries, because we know that with proper rest and nutrition, we're going to come back stronger than ever. So I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Now, a derivative of that command of honor is, I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I'll be saying these 3 times a day. Write these down. You need to do it all your life. Me just telling you right now is not going to do you any good. I guarantee it. You got to write it down. You got to be reciting them. Hope to come back much stronger than ever. That statement gives dignity to your suffering. You could say, you know what? I'm depressed. I'm panic attacks. I feel so miserable. But you know what? I intend to come back much stronger than ever. Well, there's a dignity in it. See, if you just say, oh, I'm so suffering. I'm hurting so much. I get nervous with panic attacks. I don't know what to do. Person goes, oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. I want to get away from you. I can't know what to do for you. You don't want. You want somebody to feel sorry for you. But if you say, I'm suffering, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I have panic attacks, I'm problems at home. But you know what? Makes me stronger, and I hope to come back much stronger than ever. The person goes, oh, hey. They can admire you, respect you. See, if you do want to share your struggles, that we all hide, but you add that at the end, that's the formula for self-respect and for others respecting you. In fact, when you say that, people go, oh, thank God, I'm suffering too. I know when I say to people, when they say, yeah, how you doing, doc? I go, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm all things human. People go, oh, yeah, I know. I'm telling you. But if I just go, hey, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm great, things, they don't go, I don't get that connection from that. I really don't. So that's honest. So sometimes I just shorten it and say I'm all things human. That's why today I'm talking about we are all things human. You're a human, imperfect being. You are a beautiful, powerful, noble, imperfect being. Just like me. Just like everybody else. I want you to know that. And I want you to remember it. That way you don't have to feel so alone in the world. One of the things you can always tell yourself, whatever you're going through, you say, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? Whatever the problem is, there's some loss or threat of loss, there's a bad story. And it's a true bad story. We're not denying it. Think, what's the best true story I can tell myself? Just promise you, you'll always find a gain from the loss. Every time. And I've told so many stories in so many videos over and over again about illustrations of my personal life, in life I've seen with other people. Yes, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? That's another derivative of I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. Then you're feeling angry at somebody, upset with somebody, felt disrespected. Your own anger, your own resentment's eating you up. Just like everybody else that's eating them. Key is knowing how to speak a little light into that darkness. That's the key. Speaking a little light into that darkness. Whispering a little light into the darkness. So one of the commands of honor. I wish you well. I wish you. Lightens it up. Doesn't go away. Lightens it up. The other one you could use if you particularly believe in God. You're going through something. Speak a little light into that darkness. God willing, I'll be fine. If you don't believe in God or wish to address God, it's I'll be fine. Or if you're not sure you're going to be fine, you go, I hope I'll be fine. Speak some light into that darkness. By the way, after you go, I hope I'll be fine, you'll find within a few weeks, you'll just go, I'll be fine. I call it a shield penetrate, helps penetrate your own doubt. I'll be fine. Does it make the worry go away? No. Does it lighten it up? Yeah. The way of honor is a way to live with being miserable. It's a way of living with your own negativity. In a doable fashion, it's something you could do, your children can do. You could teach it to a 6-year-old. Right now, I'll show you the power of your mind. I want to show you the power of your mind. Right now, have a pleasant memory. Think of something you ate today that you enjoyed or somebody you saw that you love. Have this pleasant memory. I know for a fact that you did it rapidly, naturally, easily. No other species can do it. Only humans. A 6-year-old could do that. But look what you did. You chose the polarity. It wasn't a negative thought. It was a pleasant, it was a positive thought. And you chose the time dimension. It wasn't the future. It wasn't the present. It must. Now, before I said that, you weren't thinking about it, but right away, boom, popped into your mind. And now you're probably not thinking about it now. So, ding, popped in from nowhere, disappeared. That's magic. If there is such a thing as true magic, that's it. That's the power. See, there are two types of thoughts. The thoughts that pop into your mind but do not define who you are. Those thoughts are basically your genetics, family upbringing, societal norms. All those negative thoughts, with 80% of those negative thoughts, you're not responsible for it. You didn't choose it. How can you say you're responsible for it? You never would have chosen, whether it's angry or hurt or humiliation. No. Now, second type of thoughts are the ones that you choose, just like you did now. Second type, the one that you choose. Right now, have this thought 3 times. Think it to yourself silently 3 times. I wish you well. I know you did it naturally, rapidly, easily. A 6-year-old can. In fact, I have a video from doing magic. It's a 20-minute video, and it's called Happy Thoughts for Happy Kids. I teach children how to just do this very thing. Young children. Happy Thoughts for Kids. I call it the Happy Thoughts Club. So that volition, it doesn't mean you're going to walk around with positive thoughts all the time. It just means you could be choosing them, use the commands of honor. You could choose to have the bridge. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? And these are the most powerful, positive, uplifting thoughts in the universe. Back when I first started discovering them, I called them power thoughts. For over 10 years now, I've called them commands of honor, laws of honor, demands of honor, supremacy of honor code. It's all in my videos. So the other one is, you don't believe in God, you say, I seek always to serve my highest values. So that helps you transcend, elevate, but above the pulls of this world. I seek always to serve my highest values. I believe in God as I do. God, your wish is my only wish. See, following that imperfectly, follow that, and so, well, God, if you wish me to have this loss and this problem, I wish to have it. If you wish me to not have it, I wish not to have it. And Lord, if you have no preference, I prefer not to have this problem, whatever it is. But that's, God, your wish is my only wish. So it helps you accept what you can't change. Change what we can, accept what we can't. Well, these are the dimensions when I talk about we are all things human. I hope you won't forget it. I know I won't. I don't forget it anymore. We are all things human. I want to open up to our lovely people. Just keep in mind when you speak, it helps others so much because they feel less alone in their struggles and they feel they're part of a wonderful community, which you are, a beautiful, wonderful, lovely community. I'm opening up now to any of your comments, any of your questions. And if you have something you want to say and somebody else is speaking, write it down. Don't just refrain from sharing it. When the people stop speaking, then bring yours in. But don't just not do it.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, this is John.
John, always, I'm so happy to hear from you, John.
Sir, I can definitely say that all things human is definitely a good overall saying of how we all feel at one time or another. And I can definitely say that the 4 commandments, everything I've read, everything that I'm watching is helping me go through all these past struggles, now struggles, and getting you ready for the future struggles, but being able to live with honor, push with honor, and be able to handle them honorably instead of maybe in an angry way or something like that.
Firstly, John, what you're saying, I have to tell you something right now, John. You've just helped a lot of people because you made people feel even less alone. I've told people they're not alone, but that's not enough. They need to hear from you, just the way you said it. And also you gave hope because you said by following the way of honor, it's helping me with all that. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful message. That's
true, sir.
Very authentic message, a message that acknowledges the suffering, but gives hope. And that's perfect, John. Thank you for offering that to all of us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your talk today, sir.
Thank you so much, John, as always.
Hi, Doctor. I've told you before that I really look forward to Tuesdays now because I feel like such a part of a wonderful community, and the strength I get from just listening to people and listening to their shares. It's a great thing. It really is, and I look forward to Tuesdays. And I've learned to live on the bridge, like I told you. What is the most honorable thing I can think, say, and do? And it really does help.
That's a way of life. And I'll be honest with you, I look forward to Tuesdays also. It's one of the great highlights of my week is being here with you, sharing this. It has so much meaning to my life, and I love hearing from all you beautiful, wonderful, deep, lovely human beings. So it's definitely a highlight for me. I look forward to it. I mean, I really do.
It's my favorite day of the week too, Doctor.
Who would ever think Tuesday? Yeah. There's a long story about how I got doing this on Tuesdays, but that's another time. Thank you, Joanne, for that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now, somebody had something that wanted to say.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, it's Bert.
All right, Bert, I'm really glad to hear from you, Bert.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for just shedding light on, I think, some of our unintentional, unhealthy projections and coping, right? Especially when people ask us how we're doing. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard to describe how they're really doing. And so I think just saying something to the extent of it's really hard right now, but I'm taking it one day at a time, and I intend to come back much stronger than ever. I think that's more authentic and more inviting way to have a respectfully real conversation with people.
That's the term, respectfully real. We have the right to be who we truly are, as long as the expression of our true self is in a respectfully real manner. Thank you for reminding me about the respectfully real communication, which is the communication system for people who are following the way of honor. Bert, that statement, the way you said it, if somebody were to say that to me, I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. And I'm 84 years old. I've never heard it from anybody. Maybe we'll get a trend going. I mean, I'm saying it all the time now. Some people get tired of hearing the whole thing, so I just say I'm all things human. People don't want to keep my daughter say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" Well, she's getting tired of hearing the whole "I'm good, I'm bad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm all things human." So I just say, "Well, sweetheart, I'm all things human." I say, "Okay." So,
well, thank you for just kind of shedding light on it. I really enjoyed this call.
Thank you for that, but I really enjoy your input. And I would love to hear people saying that to me when I ask them how they're doing, because it's we need to bring this into society. We're not bearing our deepest problems to anybody, but I think it creates people being comfortable, at ease. It's not a long thing. You're not going into all your troubles. You're not burdening the person. It's short enough so it's not boring, but it's more authentic. Perhaps we could start something. I'm good, I'm bad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm all things human. Thanks for that, Bert. That was really good to hear from you.
Anytime.
Thanks. Who else has something you would like to ask or say?
This is Robert. How you doing, Doc?
Oh, there you are. Talking to you tomorrow, Robert. Look forward to it. There you are with your dog.
But it's okay. What a perfect topic today that really helps me is, sometimes you just realize that all things human, you just can't predict or change things that you deal with, and you just got to just keep moving on. And, when things are going wrong, and just got to put it aside and just look at what else is going really well in life. Today was one heck of a day, and I just could really micro-focus on one thing that would really just bring me down. But, you just have to just kind of set it aside and say, okay, I'm just going to take on that challenge tomorrow, and look what else is going on today. And I look forward to this meeting, and I said, I'm not going to dwell on that other thing. I'll deal with that tomorrow, and I know we have our conversation, and then just kind of look at the positive things that were going on, and then you just kind of, your mood lightens. Well, like you said, all things human. And
let me just say something to you, though. I want people to hear this. First, it's really good advice, and I'm really glad you can do that, Robert. Just want you to know something's really bothering you. It's very hard to just put it aside. You can say, I'm looking forward to this, I'm looking forward to that. So you want to speak a little light into it. Typically, the negative thing comes back and back again. Typically. At some point, it may not, and particularly if you're really powerful in using these methods, but typically it'll come back. So I want to be realistic. It'll come back. You might still be miserable, but less miserable because you're speaking a little light into it. Now, Robert was able to dispel it completely. That's great. But I only want to let you know, if you're not able to dispel it completely, most people cannot. So,
yeah. Well, I can tell you, Doc, you know me, and this one certain topic that I deal with every so often.
Oh yeah, I know.
Usually I can't. Usually it takes me in a really dark place, and
I know how dark it is. Listen, Robert.
Refuse to do it.
Robert, I know how dark that gets, how overwhelmed you get from that issue, and I know you don't put that aside easily unless you take care of it. I know that it haunts you when you go into that space. I know that about you, Robert, and I'm only saying that because a lot of people have that. They just can't put it aside. They might feel frustrated. Why can't I put this aside? Well, just speak a little light into it. A little positivity and honorable thought in it.
Teachings really are helpful. That's all I can say. The teachings are really helpful.
Let me say this. Let me say, Robert, let me add this. Let me make my point to your wonderful point. I thank you so much, Robert. I tell you, hey, don't think about pink elephants. No, don't think about pink elephants. Most likely when I say that, you're thinking about a pink elephant. Because when you tell yourself not to think about something, more likely you're going to get caught in it. So the key is not to fight a negative state. Not at all. Just balance it with some kind of positive, honorable thought. You want to balance it. Don't fight the negativity. It's a losing battle. Don't try to make the negativity go away. No, let it be. You didn't choose it. Just balance it as best you can with a constructive, honorable thought. And as you practice that on a regular basis, you will find that the negative thoughts come less and less often, with less intensity and less duration. Thank you for sharing that, Robert. I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, my brother. Yeah.
Hey, doctor.
Yes.
Mario.
Mario, good to hear from you, Mario.
So I guess after all these months, I heard one that was for me. So yeah, that really hit home. I remember being so filled with fear about going back to work. One particular job that you know about, and it's taken me this long to get over it. Like August 27th at 1:30 p.m., I overcame my fear, but it took me that long being in this group, and of course, praying to God and my faith. But this class, I waited a very long time to hear something that kind of fit my scenario. So thank you very much.
Okay, so I want to comment on what Mario just said. Firstly, you need to know Mario is a very deep person, a very strong person, a deeply spiritual person, a very authentic person. And he just shared that it took a long time for to be able, he knew the time of the date where he got past that fear. That's the human experience. He shared that. I want you to know that because that's the human experience. We don't just get over something quickly necessarily. And he was praying into it, speaking light into it, and then eventually it lifted. I want to just tell you that because I don't want you to think, oh, boom, McDonald's, boom, I can get that fast food, the fast thought. No, it's not. That doesn't work like that. The thought of snap out of it, get over it. Nobody snaps out of it. That is psychologically the most unsound thing anybody could say. Oh, just get over it. That person didn't choose to be that way. He find himself caught in this vortex of some thoughts and feelings. And best they can do is speak a little light into it.
That's right.
And so I'm not offering you heaven on earth. I'm not offering you enlightenment. I'm offering you a way of putting a little light in there. Simple. That's right. But that little light makes a big difference in the long run.
I feel like now I went through the drought. Then I thought I was going to get some water, but I went through fire. And then the rain came and I got some water. I'm good now.
I love you, Mario. You're a great man, a very profound man. And you have a lot to offer your family and the world.
Yeah, well, thank you for the time for letting me give that little testimony.
Oh, that's you've helped a lot of people. In fact, we have about the videos. We have 1.7 million views and over 19,000 subscribers worldwide, and people will be hearing these statements, and it's going to help a lot of people throughout the world to hear what you said.
Yes, it's for all the group too. This goes to all the group. Thank you for being there and listening.
What a privilege it is. Who else has something you would like to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here.
Okay. Well,
go ahead, please.
Okay, Gisela and then Diego.
I just wanted to say something really quick because you kept saying this little light of mine, and it just kind of resonates with that song where it says, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." So, even though that, all things humans, sometimes we're not perfect, but we need to stay strong and keep moving forward because our light will always shine through.
Well, that's the goal. And it's to say we're not always perfect, I would say most of the time I'm imperfect. Once in a while, I some little moment of perfection. But that's the human condition. But thank you so much for that. And speaking a little light into that darkness, I came up with a saying one day. People say, well, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I say, yeah, but I'll give you something better. Be the light in the tunnel. Don't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. Be the light in the tunnel. Speak a little light into that darkness. Very different orientation. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you can be the light in the tunnel by speaking some light into it. Diego, thank you for that, Giselle. Diego, please speak, my brother.
Dr. Nerenberg, good to see you, brother. Looking sharp as usual.
Well, look at you. You're looking fit.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, where do I even begin? Like, everything that you talked about today just really struck a chord within me. I'll start off with what Joanne said. I really look forward to Tuesday, for these calls here. Yeah, I just don't really have, I feel like I don't really have this sort of level of connection with not a lot of people where I can have these sort of conversations here. So I really look forward to this on Tuesdays.
Let me just say something. We are a gathering of the deeps. This is a gathering of the deeps. Yeah. Go ahead. Please continue.
Thank you, Doctor. And I just wanted to say that I love how you normalize all this stuff here. It's also something that I've been practicing over the last few years, but the way that you've described it, and it makes me feel more comfortable just accepting that that the human experience is a part of normal life. Particularly, one of the things that I always thought growing up was I always thought I was bipolar. I always thought I had issues I always thought I had issues like just bipolar, maybe ADHD issues, things like that. Particularly with mood swings, like sometimes I would feel happy, sometimes I would feel happy. The next minute I would feel sad, and I would go through all these mixed emotions where I didn't really know how to interpret them. But you've really helped me just understand that that's just normal. We're going to go through our ups and downs in life. And I just learned to embrace them and accept them for what they are, surrender to them. When I'm having those setbacks, when I'm having those bad moments, just surrender to them. And just one of the things that I keep reciting myself is I just always remind myself that this will pass. This too will pass. Things in the past, I've gone through other trials and tribulations in the past where I never thought that I would get over them, but I just found a way to get through them. And I just always remind myself of that when I'm going through those setbacks. That things will pass. I've gone through this before, and it will pass.
Well, here's the thing about that. Your suffering will pass, and your happiness will pass too. Only honor is forever. Your suffering will pass. Your happiness will pass. Only honor is forever.
Exactly what you said, Doc. That is both the good times and the bad times are temporary in life. So let's enjoy them for what they are, and let's just try to find whatever sort of wisdom we can find from.
That's the key.
Both.
If it leads to wisdom, it leads to wisdom, and that's the gem. That's the jewel that comes out of it. And wisdom is a beautiful, beautiful thing. What a great treasure. You can have that wisdom. That's doable. That's doable. But people say, "Oh, Dr. Nerenberg, I appreciate your wisdom. Your wisdom." Well, I appreciate that. I do feel I manifest a lot of wisdom, but still do a lot of dumb things. I mean, with that. So having the wisdom, I live a life of wisdom, but at the same time, I slip, become the fool, and an imperfect human being. So I don't want to hold out an unrealistic thing about life. But what I tell my people is this. I say, you're going to suffer. You're going to have some joy. You're going to suffer. But you're doing a marvelous job on developing yourself as the eternal soul that you are for your eternal journey. You're doing a marvelous job preparing your soul for your eternal journey. And a lot of people relate to that. I relate to it. So people may feel miserable, even though they're really doing a great job living an honorable life and aspiring to the honorable life, even though they slip at times. And I see, wow, how magnificent, how noble, how beautiful. And you're preparing yourself as the eternal soul that you are, the light that you are. So I want you to know, I'm going to tell you something you don't know. You're doing a lot better than you think. you're doing a heck of a lot better than you think you are. I can tell you that for a fact. You know, you can't see how beautiful you are, how magnificent you are. We just can't see. You can't see how noble you are in your own nobility. You don't see it. I see it in you. I don't necessarily see it in me, but I see it in you. You might see it in me. I see it in you. You're doing far better than you think. That's the good news. Far better. You know, in the news, you hear about all this negative stuff, the wars and the killings and the mass shootings and the starvations and all the things. But for every one of those horrible incidents, there's over 1 billion, maybe over 10 billion episodes of goodness in the world. Somebody letting someone get in front of them in the line, someone giving some food to a homeless person, someone opening the door for somebody. It's like 1 billion to 1. Of course, it's not in the news, all these things, because it bleeds, it reads. So the goodness in this world, we're immersed in goodness, is danger. There are problems in society, no question about it. But society itself is doing a lot better than we're told. And you're doing a lot better than you know. People say, oh, we're going downhill. Oh, you know, all the way back. I wish we were like we used to be. Come on. You don't even know the freedoms you have at this point that we used to have. I'll give you one that I know for a fact you didn't know that you have. You have a freedom that you don't even know you have. Because I was born in 1941, so I know about a freedom, an enormous freedom that we have, that we didn't have in the 40s and 50s. People look back on the 50s, nostalgia, say, oh, that was the golden era. I'm going to tell you what it is. Back in the 40s and 50s, good part of the 60s, nobody in America had any problem. Nobody. Nobody had a problem. Everybody was happy. Do you know how crazy that was? All hidden. You couldn't even say, I'm struggling, I'm depressed, I'm having a problem with my spouse. You couldn't say those things. That was insane. You couldn't even imagine saying it. Well, now, you got Dr. Phil on TV, you have all these thousands of self-help books. You have all kinds of therapists coming on the news. You have the freedom to have a problem. You have the freedom to be human. In the 40s and 50s, we didn't have the freedom to be human. You didn't know that. You take it for granted. I don't. Oh, no, I lived through it. We've come a long way. See, there's so many blessings, so many wonderful things we have today that we didn't used to have. Sure, we have problems, but we progressed on so many dimensions, so many dimensions. And that's just one that you didn't know about. So the world's in trouble, but it's come a long way. Doing a lot better than we think. And you're doing a lot better than you think. Amazing, isn't it? I'm telling you the truth. Nobody told you how you're going to suffer, how much. And nobody's told you how well you're really doing, and you don't know it. And nobody told you what a magnificent, noble being you are. I mean, the divine educators tell us about it. But, you know, this person on your right and that person on your left, they didn't tell you. It's true, I'm here to tell you that. Diego, what else? Anything else you want to ask or say?
No, thank you, Doc. Really appreciate those words that you said just now. You know, I could definitely use those words. So yeah, really appreciate that, Doc. Thank you for always sending me those messages as well. You know, I know I'm halfway across the world, but we're always connected there, myself.
Oh, I feel a very deep connection to you, Diego. Always. Yeah, very deep connection. I'm grateful to know you and to have the eternal bond that we have. Who else has something?
Love you, Doctor.
Love you too, Diego.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. It's Claudia.
Claudia, so good to see you, Claudia.
Sure. one of the things that I took from this is that Christ is an opportunity for us to grow and get closer to God and just give our life to him and surrender, regardless of what the situation is.
You see, that's so true, Claudia. That's amazing you're saying that. One of the thoughts I use, I call it one of the derivatives of God, your wish is my only wish. And it's also related to, I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. It goes this way. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. I say that every day because that suffering we go through, that's what makes us go to God. You know, if we didn't suffer and go through this, well, number one, we wouldn't turn to God as much. Number two, many of us would think we are God. I think we've suffered enough. We say, well, I know I'm not God because God wouldn't be going through all this. I know. That's what helps us understand, well, I'm not God. Otherwise, we would, with our ego and our pride, we would think we're God. But we're brought to our knees. And here's the other thing in terms of people who believe in God. God loves us, and he knew that we're imperfect. He knew we were going to do a lot of terrible things. All the terrible things that go on in this world, it's not a big shock to God. He's like, oh my God, oh my goodness, look what these people are doing. No, he knew how imperfect we are, still loved us and loves us, and allowed us to be created. So the imperfection was known. It's not like it's not like our imperfections and call it sinfulness and wrongdoings was unknown. No. We were created this way. And then as we struggle against that, we're perfecting ourselves for the eternal journey that we have as a soul. Claudia, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad, Claudia. And by the way, your texts are always amazing too.
Thank you, Doctor. And truly, I am so grateful to this opportunity just to be amongst the group. I struggled with also feeling awkward, that I didn't belong. I can say I'm a deep, and I don't have these type of conversations or type of relationships outside of this group. And so I am so grateful that regardless of how I got here, this is such an opportunity for my self-discovery and also for my healing, right? And it's just a journey, and each day is going to be different. Some days are going to be harder than others, but just keeping the faith and really reciting your commandments is so important. One of the things that I always cling on is I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship, and God, your wish is my only wish. I surrender to my life to him, because the way that I've been living my life hasn't really worked.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I found that the way I lived my life wasn't working, so I said, well, let me do what God would. My way was not that good. Exactly. And let's look at something else. You didn't come to see me because you're having a good time. You came to see me because of a problem at work. Is that right?
Correct.
So you were suffering. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So one of the best true stories about what happened to you at work is that you became part of our community and part of the honor movement. That's what's the best true story about Claudia's suffering. It led her to she was always a beautiful, decent human being, but it added to your knowledge and commitment to the way of honor and a deeper relationship with God. So that's one of the best true stories about what you went through. So in a way, you could say, see if this is stretching the point too much, that what you went through at work was one of the best things that could happen to you. Is that stretching or is that true?
No, it's true, Doctor. Especially because I'm here and I'm open and I can say that I'm scared and I can say that I'm worried at times and all the things, right, that makes us human. But I can say that this has been such a gift and a blessing for me. Well, and I hope for everyone else that's here as well.
Well, you are a deep. Have you read the book I have on the website called The Deeps in the Chats?
Yes, and that's why I'm grateful, because of not I don't feel strange anymore, like I don't belong.
Well, when we're around chats all the time, and they can be some wonderful people, but they don't want to go deep. And so the deeps tend to feel like misfits, weirdos, and we don't fit in, really. There's a synergy between the two, the deeps and the chats, but there's also like a warfare going on. We can't expect the chats to understand us, but we need to embrace them and show them love. But we have to understand that each person has their strengths and their limitations of what they can comprehend. So the idea is not to be angry at them but to understand that each person has a way of being. Now, the deeps, like a deep like yourself, you're probably maybe 1% of the population. The honor movement is really a gathering of the deeps. And I tell people, I hope you got to keep these commandments going, the commands of honor, all your life. In the bridge, you don't want to stop when you're not my patient. You want to keep it up and be involved with the movement.
Absolutely, doctor. I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm grateful to know you, Claudia, to get your amazing texts. And then I think it's the first time I've actually seen you on these talks. Is that right?
No, I've shown my camera, but most of the time I look, I don't look presentable.
Well, you look very presentable now. Just lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Claudia.
You're welcome, doctor.
Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Doc, Juan Soto, how you doing, my friend?
Juan, good to hear from you, Juan Soto.
Okay, God bless that we're here for another day, another Tuesday. See the greatest doctor right there in front of us. My question is, myself and friends, coworkers that I work together, they've been having issues or problems at home and stuff. So my question is, it's like so easy for us or for myself to give him some advice or whatever's going on. But then when it comes down to, like they'll say, when it comes down to their wives or our wives or what have you, it's more harder for us to kind of like, how can I say this? Give them advice or kind of like listen to what they're trying to tell us. You know what I'm kind of saying?
Totally. Let me tell you something. See, when I get to meet all the beautiful people like yourself, Claudia, John, everybody else that spoke up, you came to me for help. So you're open to hearing what I have to say. So when you give people advice, when I say I really want some advice from you, they're not that open. Look, my kids, I try to give them advice. My youngest is just turned 29. My oldest is about 52. It's just dad. Oh, that's dad. Your dad. Oh, I've heard this a million times, Dad. So, and they're good kids, but there are very few people that want the advice. Now, one of the great blessings for me and working with all of you is that most of you are like my children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews, and you want that guidance. That's a great blessing for me. And for some people, I'm like the father they never had, the uncle they never had. And I'm just, what an amazing thing that is for me. So one of the things is that they're not coming to you for guidance. And you're giving them, I'm sure, really good advice, especially you're a wise man. I'm sure you're sharing the honor teachings. It could be a seed. The best way to give advice, I'll tell you the best way to do it, especially when no one's asking you. Say, I'm applying this and it's what it's done for me. Don't try to tell them do this. Say, well, I've gone through this and this. It's not that different what you've gone through. It's all things human. And this is what I did that helped me. I mean, I'm not saying it'll help you, but it definitely helped me. As long as you do it through self-disclosure. As long as you're doing self-disclosure, they might say, may or may not use it, but it has a lot more plausibility because they don't feel they're here and you're up there. You feel you're superior, no more. I say, I struggle, still struggle. I have struggled and I do struggle. I know always will struggle. This is what I do. It helps me. I mean, it works for me. And you can say, so that's how I deal with it. I don't know if it'll help you. It might, but that works for me. If you present it that way, much better chance of people taking to it. A much better chance. I'll tell you right now. What do you think about what I just said to you, Juan?
It sounds good, Doc. Sounds very good.
It's the best shot you're going to get. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes to the point where, like, at that moment, you're, like it's coming from above, and you're just, he speaks through us, God, which I'm talking about, God. He speaks through us. And, sometimes you just get these moments where you're just like, wow, you just surprise yourself,
Listen,
like,
Juan,
wow, I just
Juan,
gave
Juan.
this advice, but then why can't I or somebody give that same to me? You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this. Number one, I'm surprised by what I say. Believe me, most of this is not planned. I mean, I have a couple of notes here, and that was it. I'm pretty surprised. People say, "Well, what are you going to say?" I said, "Well, I'm going to find out." I understand exactly. I follow the promptings of the Spirit, as you do. So, but to the extent that you present it as, "Hey, bro, I struggle, man. I go through that too. I've been through it. I'm going through it. I will be going through it. Here's what works for me." And whatever God reveals to you or whatever you've learned here, this works for me. That's a humble way of doing it. And again, I want to say it's a much better chance of reaching the person rather than just saying this, that, and the other thing. You know what? I should probably do more of that with my kids. Say, hey, son, my darling daughter, this is what works for me, and I think it might work for you. You're my daughter, you're my son. This is working for me. I think I might do that more myself. But yeah, thank you for that one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Doc.
I can't tell you how important it is what you brought up.
Thank you.
Who else has something you want to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, it's Gisela.
Dear Gisela.
I just, this topic is so good because it's just a great reminder that, nobody's perfect. And by us sharing our vulnerability with each other is a great way to connect with each other. And we all learn from other people's mistakes to become better. So I just really like this topic because it just makes it makes me feel like I'm not alone in whatever vulnerability that I'm facing or encountering. But yet we all come together and we can just overcome all that.
That's a good word, the vulnerability. People cover it up. But when anybody's angry or they get aloof, it's to cover their vulnerability. They feel hurt, angry, neglected, humiliated, jealous, inferior. So they cover it up by acting superior, or they cover it up by getting angry or being aloof. One of the laws of honor is, I hope to respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity. I hope to respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity. The two-year-old comes up to you and says, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You don't say, you brat, you poop in your diaper, and I change it, I hate you. You don't do that. You go, come here, mijo. Come here, sweet. I love you. Come here. I love you. So it doesn't matter if somebody's 2, 22, or 102. You want to aspire to responding more to the vulnerability. Now, you can't help reacting to the negativity. So that's why the law of honor is, I hope to respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity. That's achievable. I'm not saying, initially I refused to react to your negativity. I'll only respond to your vulnerability. And I had to change it because I said, I'm not responding to the negativity. But I can get it where I respond a lot to the vulnerability. And that's one way. So the word vulnerable, that we're sharing our vulnerability, is a great thing. And you can share your vulnerability, particularly when you say, I'm vulnerable, I'm hurting, I feel overwhelmed or jealous, whatever. But I'm going to come back much stronger than ever, God willing. I'll come back much stronger than ever. So whatever vulnerability you share, once you couple it with, this is bringing me closer to God, I'm going to come back stronger from this. Once you do that, it's no longer seen as weakness. It's seen as human. If you just share the vulnerability, it can look weak. But once you share it with that, then it's strength, and it's authenticity. Then you'll receive respect, self-respect, respect from others. That's the key. You've got to add that to it, and then you can be vulnerable. You can do it. Absolutely. And as with yourself, we share our vulnerability here. And I've done my best to try to normalize that vulnerability is the human experience. It is the human experience. And everybody's hiding it. They don't know how to express it. And I'm telling you how to express it. You add, I hope to be much stronger than ever. Brings me closer to God. And you can share your struggles. You can share your vulnerability with a lot more people than you think once you add that. What are your thoughts about that, Gisela?
We will come back much stronger and with honor.
That's it. So we don't have to hide as much as we don't have to, as long as we add that to it. Thank you, Giselle. This is such an important point. You always bring up amazing points, Giselle. Well, you're an amazing human being. Absolutely.
You're very welcome. I love all your topics, and everything resonates with what I go through with my struggles, and we just gotta share with other people that are deep within each other, and just come back stronger and with honor, because now I just see things more with honor based on your teachings.
Well, you introduced the word ambassador of honor, and I've adopted that term. So thank you, Gisela.
You're very welcome.
Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. This is Mercy Njoroge. How are you?
Oh, Mercy. Always so good to hear from you, dear Mercy.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Thank you for this great talk today. That was great. And I also agree with the rest of the people. I look forward to Tuesday. I learn a lot from other people, and just knowing that I can be vulnerable and knowing what they're going through. I'm also going through the same thing. And I like what you said about be the light in the tunnel. I'm going to say the same. Whatever I've gone through, being in the honest society has also helped me a lot. And my faith has gone stronger. And even when sometimes I'm going through anxiety or I'm fearing something, I always remember that I should be quiet and I should not be afraid, and to seek God and pray about it. So thank you for helping me and the rest of us, and you're really wonderful.
Thank you. And I think thank you for that. I honestly think you're very wonderful. I think what you've done is amazing, coming from Africa, dealing with the situations that I know you've dealt with, and being here, making the contributions you've made. You're amazing. I mean, your journey is so inspiring to me. And, I might, based on what you just said, I might give a lecture called Be the Light in the Tunnel. I might do that, maybe even next week. We'll see. A lot of times I don't know till the day of or the day before. But I might. What do you think of that title, Be the Light in the Tunnel?
I like it. I love it.
Well, you know what? That's my plan right now. Unless something else comes up. Let me make a note. I'll put it right here. Be the light in the tunnel. Yeah, you inspired that. And I'm going to dedicate it to you, Mercy, because you really got me coming up with that. Be the light in the tunnel.
Yeah, it just spoke out to me, just like, oh yeah, why there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Why not be that person, for
I now have
someone else? Yeah.
Right now I've got it tentatively scheduled for next week. If I don't do it next week, I will do it. But right now it's tentatively, unless something else is pressing, but be the light in the tunnel. Thank you. Thank you for that inspiration, Mercy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Anybody else have something you'd like to ask or say?
Forgive yourself for being human.
Oh, he was saying, forgive yourself for being human. We have to forgive ourselves for our imperfections, for the way we violate our own code of ethics. We can say, God forgives me, and I want to forgive myself, or God forgives me, and I do forgive me. Absolutely, absolutely. So my pleasure, my privilege, and to be honest with you, my great enjoyment to be here with you this evening and present to you, we are all things human.